And welcome to another episode of Reselling Rhythms. I'm your host, Adam with Adam's Exploits. My show is normally live on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Today, I am your guest, the only guest. Probably have a few people filter in. I'm going to put the link out in the chat if people want to join me. Typically, I do have a guest. I had several people I've considered having on. They weren't unavailable, whether for health reasons or scheduling, etc. So I decided that, I got to mute my phone. I thought I had already silenced that, but it wasn't silenced. Okay. I use that to monitor the chat. Steve Raiken's Profit, interviewed me when I was at eBay Open. Hey, Kimmy. You're still behind. You busted your butt behind the finish. Oh, great. Okay. So, Kimmy, if you want to join me a little bit later, that'd be great. I don't know if you're in condition after emptying out your storage locker. But, again, I don't have a guest today. I'm just going to greet some people, and we'll get into the show. And like I said, most of you probably already seen. If not, I have the link in my description of the interview that Steve Raiken did with me. Interviewed me, actually, at eBay Open. Steve actually interviewed 30 people at eBay Open. And I was fortunate enough to have Steve join me at Hell's Kitchen for dinner on I believe that was Tuesday evening, because Casey the Rockstar Flipper had his meetup on Monday. And then Steve joined me on Tuesday evening with a couple of my friends, Jen and her husband, Dan, and Steve and his videographer joined us at Hell's Kitchen. So I just want to say hello to a few people in the chat. Then we'll roll into it. Basically, like I said, I'm going to show a little bit of the video. We'll discuss that. And if anyone would like to join me, you're more than welcome. People that I know, obviously, because like I discussed before, I like to try to keep this, G to PG rated and drama free. So I'm just going to say hello to a few people and we'll get into it. Say hello to Angie, who was here first. Lynn, who was Miss Perlini. Ricardo, whose new name is the Ghost Pirate. Hetty is here. And Sunday Fun Day, Pamela Sabin. I like that name, Pamela. Hey, Jameson's Closet's here. Kimmy is back from doing her storage auction clean out. Hopefully she's okay and survived. I actually discussed that with Steve. You'll see it. I think I discussed that with Steve. You'll see in the video. I'm only showing about a third of the video, but I did link it in the description below so you guys can watch it later. And, Steve doesn't need the subscribers, but I would appreciate if you watch the video. So, it shows him that I'm an interesting character. So maybe one of these days I'll be fortunate enough to have Steve on my channel. So again, if anyone has joined me from Steve's videos, I'd appreciate you guys. And if you're not subscribed, please do so. And click the notification bell. Again, normally I go on live Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. I just wanted to say one thing quickly before we get started. I would just like to take a moment of silence. Today is September 11th, and most of my viewers from my analytics are from the United States, and we know what happened on September 11th, 2001. I vividly recall that day. Guys, I tell you, pretty much I'm an open book. I was in the wine and liquor sales at that time, outside sales. And back in the day, when I was younger, I used to listen to Howard Stern, and I remember them discussing that a plane had crashed into the World Trade Center. And then when I walked into one of my liquor stores, they had it on the TV, and they actually were showing the planes crashing in, and then another plane crashed into the World Trade Center. So anyway, I just want to have a moment of silence. I like to remember the people, the families that have lost people in the World Trade Center accident and the other accidents in Pennsylvania and in the D.C. area. And also, please keep in mind the people that support us and protect us and serve in the military, and our EMTs and the police and firefighters that support and help us to enjoy the freedom that we do have in the United States. So it's going to take one, 30-second pause to remember those people, and please keep them in mind and keep their families in your prayers if you're so inclined to on a day, September 11th today. Okay, thank you guys. Appreciate it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll into the video. You'll see Steve interviews me, and unfortunately, I don't look my best. What happened was I told you guys how it was a little difficult for me to navigate from the Mandalay Bay Hotel. You got to cut through the casino. You got to cut through the corridor where all the restaurants are. Then you got to get into the into the convention center. So it's a long walk. So basically what happened was I attended the opening ceremony of eBay Open. And then Steve had scheduled me for an interview at, I believe it was 11 a.m. So I had to hustle back from the convention center over back to the Mandalay Bay again, because Steve was staying in a suite in Mandalay Bay. So I had to hustle over there and make sure I wouldn't be on plenty on time, you know. So I got there and I went down the elevator because, unfortunately, even though I had a pass key, I think my floor was the 38th floor and Steve was like on the 50th floor, 48th floor or something. So my key wouldn't work to go up to the higher level. So the security guard wouldn't even let me up. So I had to wait for Steve to come down. And of all people that came down was Steve Raiken, with the person I mentioned all the time on this channel, Casey the Rockstar Flipper. So Steve had interviewed Casey just prior to my interview. And of course, you know, Casey knew me. And then the funny thing was, one of Casey's other friends was there when I came down. So anyway, so I knew quite a few of the people that Steve was interviewing, and he also interviewed Harlan, who was in the chat earlier on Derek's channel. He interviewed Harlan, and Harlan, we'll see, I believe, comes up in the portion of the interview I'm going to play. So again, guys, I apologize for my appearance. I was kind of disheveled. I kind of got cleaned up a little bit and dried up and had a little sip of water before I went on. I didn't realize I was going to be sitting on that couch with my big knees up, and, you know, my big body and my knees were sitting up. You'll see it. It's a little embarrassing for me, but it is what it is. But I did want to share that with you. So bear with me as I try to bring up these live streams. The share screen, it should be an issue with the creator. I know I try to do something on Beth's channel. By the way, Beth is here. If you haven't seen my interview, I did do a channel interview with Beth about eBay Open and how to save money. Joy is here, and some other folks have joined us. I apologize if I missed you guys, but we'll get into it. So let me do a screen share, and we are going to we're going to do a Chrome tab, and we'll do this. We'll do this, and I'm going to expand this and turn up my volume, and hopefully you guys will be able to hear this fairly well.
Where are you from again?
I'm from South Jersey, right outside Philadelphia, a couple miles east of Philadelphia.
I mean, I'm sure.
So I have the typical brands. I mean, I have the Targets and the Walmarts, and back in the day, the Kmarts and the Sears and the Pennies. That's the kind of clothes I find. The Gap.
Yeah.
Now, occasionally I'll find a pair of Levi's. When I first started, I was mostly women's jeans, because that was, you know, the jean sellers, prop sales were selling jeans, and Lenny Glenn was selling jeans. So I was like, I could get it for $1 a pair, but now I got like 80 pair of women's jeans that I'm sitting on.
Do you mess with garage sales at all?
A little bit, but like I was telling people, like that's what I'm doing, a lot of networking at eBay Open, and just talking to people. The garage sale, I mean, it was probably similar up in Connecticut, but our weather was so crazy in South Jersey. We had all that rain in April and May, and then June was okay for garage sales and yard sales, and July got so hot, and then people were going on vacations, they stopped doing them. Yeah. So you really, at least in my area, you basically just had June for garage sales.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in Connecticut, so I'm not too far away from you. So it is up and down, but there isn't a huge opportunity with garage sales all year long, like Texas and stuff. You know, I just interviewed
Texas or Florida.
I just interviewed a guy named Harlan, and what he's doing is he's going to garage sales, thrift stores. And this might be a good opportunity for you or for anyone who's watching who's disabled as well. Is he's going out and sourcing these items, and he's dropping them off at an auction. I know Harlan. We're supposed to get together. Yeah, and then the auction just sells them all and everything for him, and he just collects the check.
And he works like 60 hours a week at his full-time job.
It doesn't eliminate the problem of sourcing, which is true. If you're disabled or even if you're not, it's just such a time suck.
Yes, exactly.
So that's why I really think like online arbitrage is a great opportunity. I'm very active using a software called eFlip. Are you familiar with eFlip?
No, I'm not.
So eFlip is.
I don't think. Have you been to the exhibition center, or they down there? I don't think they were.
No, they're not over there. eFlip was created by my buddy Caleb Roth. He created Scout IQ. He's
Scout IQ
Flipper community. So eFlip is a software that allows you to filter Amazon.
Okay.
And essentially, what it does is it filters out books that you can buy off of merchants on Amazon for a low price and sell for much higher on Amazon.
Right. Okay.
So there's actually some sellers out there who have done hundreds of thousands, and there's a couple who don't come out, but I've heard that have done like over $1 million a year just sourcing from Amazon merchants books and then flipping it FBA. I got my brother to do it as well. So if you're disabled and you're at home and you're looking at online arbitrage and books, but
So you can purchase them online, have them delivered to your house.
Yes,
and
but guess what? Can I tell you something even better? This is cool. You're gonna love this, especially if you're disabled, especially if you're traveling, if you don't have a lot of time.
Right.
So this is what you do. You can do this with online arbitrage. There's a software called Tactical Arbitrage.
Okay.
So that's a software to help you do online arbitrage like Walmart's, Target's, eFlips, online arbitrage on Amazon. You ever heard of prep centers?
Yes.
So what you do is you order, you use eFlip, you find a profitable book, but instead of putting your address, which is probably in like a sales tax state,
You use one out of Delaware or a
prep
sales
center,
tax free
a
state.
prep center. There's one I'm researching now for $1.50. You can ship it to them, sales tax free. They'll prep it, they'll inspect it, they'll price it, and these are Amazon sellers. They understand how to do it,
Sure.
and they'll even ship it to Amazon FBA for you for about $1.50.
I think there's like 6 or 7 states that are sales tax free.
Yeah, I'm not sure what.
So I know Delaware, that we had discussed something about moving down to Delaware
How cool
because
is
of the cost
that?
of living, right?
Like, and you can do that all from
Right.
home on the
Right.
computer.
No, that's a great idea.
So
Especially for people that, like I said, are homebound or for whatever
So
reason.
these are things that I've been
Right.
actively doing. I'm going to be starting to do some videos on tactical arbitrage.
Okay.
So, I mean, thrifting is great. Garage sales is great, but I mean, especially if you are disabled, that's kind of the theme. I don't
Right.
mean to keep throwing it out
No,
there,
that's
but it's
fine. I
like,
mean, a lot of my subscribers are disabled,
yeah,
whether it be physically, mental, or both. And I try to, like I said, I cater to intermediate and beginner, basically eBay sellers, and also Amazon sellers. I've had a few Amazon sellers on, and mainly a lot of my followers are disabled because we're like kindred spirit. We're lonely and we have issues with, like you said, with sourcing.
yeah.
And like I told you, I really can't do like the bins. I can't stand for hours at the bins. So that would be a perfect idea, like you said, to flip it.
So do you have any tips or anything that you'd like to share with the viewers to kind of help them with their eBay business? Anything that you found of value?
Well, what I like to do is, like I said, I mean, again, I'm trying to redo my business model. So what I like to tell people is you have to be careful when you first start, like I said, because you're my channel to beginners. Shipping is kind of hard to wrap your mind around. And when people first start in eBay, they don't understand that you have to purchase something, you have to weigh it, you have to put it in the package, you have to know what it's going to cost you to ship, because with eBay, they want you to offer free shipping typically. That's supposed to help you in the search
rating. Jacked up, USPS.
Exactly. Now there's zone shipping. First class postage is based on weight and zones.
Gosh.
And not all my customers, but a lot of my customers from Texas
California.
and California.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm on the East Coast.
East
It
Coast,
seems like 80% of my customers are from Texas and California. For whatever reason, I don't know why.
Yeah.
And then it costs you more to ship it. And then you put something, they tell you, well, put something on best offer on eBay so that people can make you offers. But then they offer you half price. And I messaged one guy back. I said, I had to purchase this item. It's brand new. I have to pay for shipping.
Yeah.
I have to pay for packaging. I have to pay commissions. I would lose money if I sold it to you at that price. But that's a tip. Pirate Ship is another thing. And I want to get somebody on from Pirate Ship on my channel to discuss Pirate Ship, because a lot of resellers.
I've never used it. I'm actually there. I would love to. Let me know who you find.
Right. Well, I know one person, yeah. But cubic shipping. I mean, because then somehow you take a box, you pack it in a box, and you wrap it in a poly bag, and you get like a discount.
Huh.
And it's basically priority shipping.
Yeah.
But they give you this discounted price. If something's like a big box, or I don't think it's a big box, I think it's a small box that's heavy, you can ship it through Pirate Ship. And what's nice about Pirate Ship, and I've talked about Pirate Ship, you can use a rewards credit card with it as well.
Okay.
So you can tie that, again, that's a tip. You tie your credit card. You don't use PayPal. They won't take it. They don't want PayPal.
Okay.
Yeah. I tried to set up a friend of mine with it. They don't accept PayPal.
Okay.
So you have to use a credit card. You can't even use your checking account. Right? You have to use a credit card.
Okay.
So you use a rewards credit card. So you earn points or dollars or whatever through your rewards credit card, and you use your Pirate Ship. So you're saving money on shipping. And you don't have to be a top rated plus shipper, because they offer you the discount even if you aren't a top rated plus shipper. Like eBay, basically you have to be a top rated or top rated plus to get the discount. Pirate Ship offers that same rate, commercial plus to everyone.
Yeah. Huh.
So that's a nice tip with the Pirate Ship. And again, talking about used women's clothing that I have, that's great to start out that way. Like everybody says, when you first start out, you look for things around your house to resell, and then you go to the thrift stores. But eventually, once you get used to the platform, you get used to the rules, you get used to shipping, you get used to sourcing, then you want to kind of mix it up.
I remember when I was in college, they said the only thing that is permanent is change. So you always got to be mixing things up and adapting. And I tell people, like with eBay's making all these changes. I just attended their opening ceremony, and Davin Wang was talking about all these changes they're making. They sound great, but like I tell people, if you're unhappy with eBay for whatever reason and their policies, either you go sell somewhere else or you file the policy.
Yeah.
Because it's their basketball, it's their court. If you want to play, you got to play
in their sandbox.
Exactly, their sandbox.
Cool. Well, hey, Adam.
It's great
meeting you.
We met last year, but it's
yeah.
great
Yeah, no, it's great to chat more. It was cool kind of just going back and forth, hearing your story, talking about some of your ups and downs. And
okay, guys, that was the gist of it. That video is actually about 29 minutes long, so I wanted to give you guys the sense of it at the tail end of it. Basically evolved around reselling and how to resell when you're disabled or you're homebound or whatever. Earlier, I had mentioned Derek. I don't know if Derek is in the chat. I was on Derek's chat earlier today when he was doing the show, and Derek is up by Steve Raiken. He's up in the Rhode Island area, and Steve's in Connecticut. So I had mentioned Derek, and I had told Derek I was going to try to shout him out, and I did. So hopefully Derek will have a connection now with Steve Raiken. So when he gets together with whomever he goes up there with, and again, you guys know, if you don't know, Derek can't drive because he's had 2 strokes. And obviously his vision is depleted about 80%. So Derek can't drive. So I believe he's going to be going eventually up to one of the meetups that Steve does up in a Connecticut area. But I wanted to share that, guys. And again, I sent out some invitations to some people. I was trying to schedule several guests this week, and several of the people had either scheduling conflicts, medical issues, whatever it would be. I mean, I have a list of 30 or 40 people. In my mind that I want to have on, but there, I had a few people that I was in particular was interested in having on, and they weren't available. So again, I'm going to put the link in the chat, guys. If anyone is willing to join me, I had sent out a couple, and I know if Kimmy, if you would like to join me, Ricardo, it's just going to be just a general reselling chat. We'll keep it under an hour. I figured this would be 15 to 20 minutes by the time the announcement went out. I didn't want to show all of Steve's video, the interview with me. I did want to show a portion of it so you guys would be familiar with it. And again, the link is in my description below. I'm sure that 99% of you are already subscribed to Steve. He has, I think it's like 133,000 subscribers. So that video has already had like 22 or 2,300 views, which is great. And hopefully it'll help my channel. So, and again, I had people from all over the world, people from the UK were commenting in Steve's comments after the video that they've had issues, and they talking about getting help. And I talk about in the video how if you're disabled and you need help, try to get help. I mean, I'm in a situation where I don't have help. I mean, I'm not 100% disabled. I just can't work a regular job. I mean, I can't sit for long periods of time. I can't stand for long periods of time. I have Achilles problems. I have all kind of issues, which I don't really want to get into too much because that's not why you're here. You're here to learn about reselling. So again, I'm going to put the link in the chat if anybody wants to join in and be on the panel. Ricardo, if you like to pop in. Kimmy, if you like to pop in, whomever. Angie, I know you're not big on doing live streams, but you're more than welcome. So I'm going to put the link in the chat. And again, if you guys would like to join me, and it's just going to be just a general discussion. I'm going to open it up to questions, and we'll basically just discuss reselling. So let me pop that in there. Okay. So, okay, there's the link, guys. So, if you've never used StreamYard before, basically it's pretty simple, and you don't really need like a high-powered computer or a lot of RAM or a great internet connection. You just need a somewhat decent video camera, webcam. And if you don't have one, just bring it closer to you and make sure you have a decent amount of lighting behind the camera, not behind you. That's an issue newbies kind of have issues with. They don't understand how the cameras, the video cameras work. They want to focus on the light. They want to focus on the face because it has facial recognition software. So that's an issue. So you're currently catching up on housework. Okay, Kimmy. So I guess it's going to be basically me. Ricardo, you want to pop in? All right. So maybe Ricardo does want to pop in. So basically, like I said, what Steve and I discussed things on how to source. Basically rolled into someone like myself that had disabilities. Again, I can get around. I have a car. That's another story. I need to get. I think I mentioned before. I need to get a new used car. We talked about disability. That's a Social Security benefit. It's kind of complicated. It's based on your previous earning, and I believe it's over 30 years. Oh, great. Crystal's going to join us. It's based, I believe, like on 30-year work frame. And I was fortunate when I was selling wine and liquor, I made a decent living. When I got laid off at that position, and I mentioned that in the interview, it was partly the economy, and a portion of it was my doing. And I won't get into the detail, but a lot of it was my boss's doing. But again, I have to, share my portion of the blame. So then I got back into, I was selling mattresses, and I hated selling mattresses. That was a terrible job. I worked for Sleepy's. So if any of you guys are from the Northeast, you probably heard of Sleepy's. They were sold out to the mattress firm, and that mattress firm was having financial problems, I read. But anyway, so then I was like, well, what do? I have 30 plus years experience selling wine and liquor. What do I do? So, I mean, I could manage. You have to connect. Let's see. Are you connected there? There she is. All right. Are you muted or?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Let me get my
let me just
monitor set up here.
Okay, let me just finish my my thought. I wanted to pop you in. I didn't want to forget you. It's because sometimes I get sidetracked. I start talking.
Go ahead.
So basically, what I told Steve in the interview was when I was working, I got back into the retail wine and liquor at a discount store, a larger chain store, and I was trying to get back into managing a store or into to buying. And I was basically a glorified clerk. I had 30 plus years experience in that industry, a college degree, and I was a glorified clerk. So, and I ended up getting hurt at that job. I've probably seen them in a lot of the retail stores. They have these little step ladders. They're called Little Giants. And what happened was I was stocking the shelves, and it was the end of the day, and I was tired, and I wasn't paying attention. And I missed a step. So I went from like the top step all the way down to the ground, which, it's only 3 steps. I think, top step and then one other step and then the ground. But I missed that step, that middle step, and I ended up tearing my Achilles, which I didn't realize I had tore it. I just figured, it hurts, and I banged into the shelving across from me, and I kept working on it. And I continued to. I was at cement, and the warehouse was upstairs on cement. I was on cement all day long, and I was on my feet all day. I would be a cashier, like in an emergency if they needed backup cashiers, but basically I was on my feet, whether I was receiving orders, stocking orders, helping customers. So I was on my feet all day long. So the Achilles kept getting worse and worse and worse. So I had Achilles. I went out on leave, so to speak. I didn't get any pay when I was on leave. Then I filed workman's comp. Wasn't able to collect on workman's comp because they said I didn't file it properly. So eventually I ended up being on disability. But what I was saying earlier, and then I'll wrap this up, and you can watch the video to get the details. But basically, because I was in wholesale sales, I was making a decent living. The retail job was not that great. So it's based on a 30-year period of your earnings. So it's a Social Security benefit. So I'm doing reselling basically to keep myself busy. So it's basically a part-time job for me and a hobby, basically just to keep me active. Like I told you guys, I enjoy doing YouTube. I enjoy teaching and helping people because I come from a family of teachers. So that's the gist of it. Again, the link is in the description below. So you guys are more than welcome to watch the video on Steve's channel, and I would appreciate it. And if you want to comment on the video or comment on this video, if you have questions about reselling, questions about reselling with a disability, please enter something in my comments or Steve's comments, and I'll be glad to answer them for you. So anyway, I'm sorry, Chris. I just wanted to finish my train of thought before I got sidetracked.
No, don't worry about it. It gave me time to kind of fix my, I don't know, I had a technical issue this morning. So
your video looks pretty good.
To figure it all out.
Okay, I got something flashing here. Let me just get out of this page here real fast. Okay, here we go. I had something flashing, like I had a notice, a Facebook notification, because I had that open for the messenger.
Oh,
So
okay.
again, guys, if anybody else wants to join, I mean, I'm more than happy to have Crystal here. If anyone else, one or two other people want to join us, that's great. We're just going to discuss reselling. So how are things in Vegas? It's still very hot, I'm assuming.
It's hot during the day, but it's cooling down at night. So
nice.
That's really nice. I think today's high is like 83.
Wow.
So it's cooled down a lot, and I'm so excited.
When I was there, it was like 100 degrees at night. It's like,
oh, I know. It's just,
you know,
it's way too hot. Way too hot.
Yeah. On the last day when I was in Las Vegas, I told you guys what I do is I typically try to get there at least a day and a half in advance. Then I stay an extra day because I don't want to be rushing out, the first thing the next morning. And I basically need to take direct flights because of my health. I can't be worried about, running through. I can't run through the airport, let alone have difficulty with my bags and everything getting through the airport to a connecting flight. And I don't want to have to sit for 2 or 3 hours, in an airport waiting for a connecting flight. So I took direct flights. So anyway, so I was Friday was a free day for me. Monday was a free day for me. What's nice, if you go to eBay Open, you can pre-register on Monday. I think they get there like noon or 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday. And then they don't get there till like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday. And that's when everybody's, is registering. That was a Tuesday. No. Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, Tuesday in the afternoon. So that's when everybody's registering. So I didn't want to have to wait in that huge line. So, it looks like we have Ricardo coming in. Let's see. Oh, your guest will need to connect his mic and cam before you can add them. Okay, Ricardo, it's not, let's see. Not huge line. Looks like we have Ricardo coming in. Let's see. Okay, you need to mute your chat. Oh, we lost them again? Uh-oh. It's StreamYard. It's a learning curve. All right, Ricardo, you need to mute your YouTube. Oh, we lost them again? It's StreamYard. It's a learning curve.
Oh, Christ.
Ricardo, you need to mute your YouTube. Oh, we lost them again? All right, I muted his mic. So
Okay.
Let us know when you figure that out, Ricardo. It's a learning curve. Like I told these people, I was trying to do a screen share on Beth's channel. Reseller Rowboat is Beth's new channel. It's used to be, because I'm having a brain freeze.
10 of Hearts.
10 of Hearts. Yeah, I was thinking 10 Can of Bay. That's Chris out in California. It's like, that's not Beth. Yes, 10 of Hearts. So she's Reseller Rowboat now, and I wanted to try to do a screen share, and there's something that you have to, the host has to allow the person to do a screen share. Even though you do a screen share as a guest, the host somehow has to allow it. So, we couldn't figure it out. I couldn't remember because I don't think I'd ever done it before on my channel. I mean, let a guest, share.
Yeah, I haven't done that.
Not that I'd be opposed to it, but I'd never done it before. So I couldn't remember exactly what the way to do it was. But Ricardo, if you want to come back in, just remember you always have to mute your YouTube chat, just like you do when you used to do it through YouTube, when you used to Hangouts. You'll have to mute it because you'll get an echo. So it's getting nice in Las Vegas.
It's getting really nice in Las Vegas, but again, it's kind of at that point where it does this up and down type of thing until about the end of October. So it'll be nice and cool like it is right now, and then by the weekend it's going to be super hot again, and so it's just going to do this up and down until like right around Halloween, and then it'll be like fall weather.
That's the nice time. Yeah, that's a nice time to go to Las Vegas. Like it can be a little chilly in the wintertime because you're in the desert. I used to go in January, and I went out without a jacket one year, and it's like at night it would get down to like, I guess, like in the 50s, right? Some nights in January.
Oh, it gets even colder than that.
Okay.
It gets even colder than that. I got married in Las Vegas.
Right.
In December, and it was 20 degrees outside.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I'm like Fremont Street, and I'm shivering, and it's like, what the heck is going on here? So I literally had to buy a jacket at one of those stands they have up on Fremont Street. It's I'm gonna freeze to death. It's like, and back then they didn't have Uber. They didn't have Lyft.
You have one extreme or the other.
Right.
Yeah, the desert has one extreme or the other. Hot, cold. It's hard to find the middle.
Right. Well, like I said, I mean, I'd half considered moving out to like Arizona or something, but I don't really have any friends or family that's out there. So I'm like I said, I'm probably just going to move down a little further south and move to Delaware because I told you guys before in the chat the property taxes is maybe a quarter of what it is up here in New Jersey. And there's no sales tax down there. There's no state sales tax, and the state income tax is just, the regular state income tax is not high. It's not low. It's just normal tax. So
Yeah.
I figure I can save, $400 to $500 per month by living down there.
Yeah, that's how it is here in Vegas.
And the thing is,
yeah, it's the same way here, which is why we moved here from California because we couldn't make it in California.
Yeah,
so expensive.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous there.
Yeah, and it's crazy pricey, and I just got a notice. My health insurance is going up, so
fun.
I mean, I have supplemental because I can't afford to have. Basically, Medicare now because I'm on disability. The theme of the show was kind of like I was talking about disabilities on Steve's channel.
Yeah.
So I'm on Medicare, and eventually there's like a 2-year waiting period once from the time that you were officially approved, determined that you were disabled to get Medicare. So this is the first year that I was on.
Waiting period?
From the time that you were determined disabled, yes.
Wow.
So what happened was I was determined disabled, dated back to when I actually got hurt and everything. Even though I wasn't collecting money, it was like 8 months or 9 months. So I did get disability pay and back pay. Mm-hmm. My health insurance was through the Affordable Care Act. I had to pay for that. So now since I'm on Social Security disability, you're on Medicare, and then if you want to supplement that, you can buy private insurance to supplement that. So I just got to notice that my insurance is going up. Of course, like insurance always goes up. So it's like, so anyway, one of these days I'm going to get my act together and get decluttered. I'm going to have to hire some people, and the problem is I can't hire like a moving company to help me. I just couldn't afford it. I'll hire a moving company to move, but not to declutter and throw things out.
Right.
I'm going to have to hire, and I don't know where I'm going to hire, reliable, honest people. I'm just going to have to start talking to people and say, I need, people that are honest, that are willing to work.
Do you have any like resellers that live close to where you are that might want to help, or? Not
that I'm aware of. That was one of the things I actually was talking to somebody. Somebody reached out to me because they saw the show on Steve's channel, and they said that they lived in New Jersey, and of all things, the gentleman was a former physician. Well, I guess you're always a physician. Once you're a physician, you're always a physician. But had to retire because of his disability. And I said, well, eventually I'm probably going to try to have some kind of meetup, whether it be in southern New Jersey or central New Jersey. And just, people don't have to be disabled, but we've never had like a meetup in this area per se. I live 15 minutes from Philadelphia. So, it could be in Philadelphia of all places. I just don't really know Philadelphia that well. I know a place near the airport we could have it. I'm friendly with the owner and some of the people that work there, so that might be an opportunity. So that way you get the people. It's like 10 minutes from the Philadelphia airport, so you get people from the Philadelphia area. You get people from southern New Jersey going over there, and it's right off of 95, which is the main interstate. So it's not really confusing. So eventually, I think I'm going to try to have a meetup. I know Casey the Rockstar Flipper's having a meetup. Donatella, I don't see Donatella in the chat, but I know she's having a meetup in Florida. So,
Glenn has a good idea. He says maybe a church would be able to help you.
As far as what?
With moving.
Oh, okay. You're going to see we got a special guest here today. We have amazing Angie in the house.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Great. Angie, do you know Crystal?
No.
No, I don't think we've met before.
Okay, well, why don't you guys introduce yourselves? Angie, Crystal, Angie, why don't you tell each other a little bit about each other?
Hi, Rosie. I know I've said hi to you before, and you're Crystal, right?
Yes.
So, you sell on eBay?
Yeah, I sell on eBay and on Poshmark.
Okay. I just sell on Etsy, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just strictly Etsy.
I used to be strictly Etsy, but I kind of changed the things that I sell, so I'm not on Etsy anymore.
Oh, yeah? Why did you change the things you sell?
I was doing all like handmade items, and it just got to be too much. So I didn't want to do the handmade stuff anymore. So now I just I sell used clothing.
Oh, okay.
There you go, Angie. That's better.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. I'm very happy to have you on the show. I really appreciate you coming on. I consider you a friend of mine. I appreciate you coming on.
Oh,
So
thanks.
one of these days when I'm telling people I need to get a new used car, SUV, whatever, I'm going to make some of these road trips. I'm going to come up and visit you and maybe go up north and go visit Steve Raiken and Derek and maybe go visit Pat up in the Poconos. But I'm afraid to travel much more than an hour in my SUV as it is now in the conditions. And I'm just my luck will break down. I mean, I have AAA, but I mean, I don't need to be, sidelined on the road somewhere, whether it be in the wintertime or the summertime. And that's all I need because I don't need that aggravation. But one of these days. And hi, Michelle. Did you just join us? I wasn't watching the chat, but Michelle's a neat lady too. And I always tell people if you ever need to phone a friend on any kind of game show, you always want Michelle because she knows all the trivia answers.
She's very smart, Michelle.
She's Adam, you make too much of a deal of it. I said, no, Michelle, you know everything. I don't even bother typing the answers in the chat because you know everything. It's like it's wait for you to answer it.
She's really
and Michelle knows a lot about
smart.
reselling too, but she doesn't.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a good video camera, so I've actually been trying to find a video camera for her, and I haven't found anything that's halfway decent. Without paying full retail price. I'm trying to as a thrifter, I'm trying to find something that's decent. I can ship it out to her, help her out. So you had me fooled, Michelle. Hey Pat, thanks for joining us. You just left the hospital, Pat. Were you having a checkup, or was an issue that you had to take care of? Pat D said he just left the hospital. I know that he said that Got the Bearded Picker's wife Joni had to have some kind of follow-up surgery. Joni had breast cancer, and I guess she needed some kind of follow-up surgery. I don't know if it was an issue or just something that I don't know. But anyway, she was having surgery today.
Yeah, he had been updating on his channel about her, and I miss him doing that.
Yeah, he used to update, and a lot of times I'm not up that early, and I mean he starts early, and he's been traveling so much he hasn't really been doing the morning show, and then with all the drama on YouTube, one of his normal co-hosts, the people went after him, and he decided he wasn't going to do YouTube anymore. I think his name was John. He was the guy that was traveling around in the mobile home, not whatever it was, the big trailer or mobile home, whatever he was traveling around then.
Yeah, I know John.
Right. He decided to stop doing YouTube. So Scott really hasn't been doing a lot of YouTube. You need a cheeseburger. What's that? What?
Are you taking orders, Pat? Because I need one too.
Jenny would be okay. Also, I talked to her on Instagram. Okay, good. But I don't know if you guys watched my video that I filmed from Las Vegas. I showed you guys. I had the In-N-Out burger for the first time.
Was it good?
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I had the double animal style. I wasn't crazy about the fries, and I was watching the video. If you guys don't watch it, it's kind of a neat channel. I mean, because I don't watch a lot of TV anymore. I watch a lot of YouTube. And I'm actually off of YouTube a lot lately, just to cut back on the time I spend on YouTube. But there's a channel called MASH, like the show MASH, but ED MAShed, and it's a really neat channel. And they talk about all these different retailers and stores that you would go to, and fast food restaurants you would go to. And they talk about In-N-Out Burger, and they make their fries on site, and everything is fresh. They have the potatoes, they have the machine where they chop the potatoes, and they do everything's fresh. They don't have a freezer. I don't know if you're aware of it, Chris. They don't even have a freezer in the facility. So
I've been going to In-N-Out since I was very, very little.
Okay, that was the first time because I thought it was like far away when I was staying in Mandalay Bay. It's like I'm not paying $14 each way to take an Uber or a Lyft to get go get a hamburger. So I couldn't walk, and that's before I figured out the whole bus situation. And then there's one now where the link is that whole mall area there. They have you probably know because you're from Vegas. But
there's a lot of them.
Right,
there's a lot of them around. Several of them on the strip.
Oh, is there several on the strip? I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was.
They're more expensive if they're like connected to a hotel or near the hotel.
Right.
Because I think they just have to pay for the rent in that space.
They do. I was talking about when I was at eBay Open, and they have some convenience places inside of the Mandalay Bay Convention Center, like the connecting area there. I don't know if you've ever been to the convention center, but they're like 50% higher on everything.
Oh yeah,
It was
definitely.
weird because when I went to the Subway at Casino Royale, which is slightly higher, it wasn't like crazy pricey. So what happened was I'd used Carol, who's in the chat, Carol Bargain Shopping, had sent me a from Mr. Tucker, her golden retriever. I had sent him some dog treats. So Carol sent me back a gift from Tucker, her golden retriever, a gift card for Starbucks.
What's his name?
His name is Tucker, and it's so weird because I named my favorite dog ever was Tucker. I named the dog. There was a guy that was like a brother-in-law of a guy that I used to do business with. And I said, that's a neat name. That'd be a good dog's name. I never told him that. But, you know, I told him that. So I named the dog Tucker. He was the greatest golden retriever. My sister had him trained with obedience training, and he was a super nice, beautiful dog. Of course, I helped select the dog, so I was kind of partial to help, you know, how attractive the dog was. And the last golden retriever we got, my sister picked out the dog totally, and she picked out the run of the litter. So, which we went to like a breeder, like a you know a breeder that specializes in show dogs, and she picked out the run of the litter. It's like, well, that's all well and good, but you know, so he had a lot of medical issues. He had, you know, deformities that he shouldn't have had as being a show dog, and nice dog, but that golden retriever was so beautiful. But anyway, Carol's dog's name is Tucker. My favorite dog's name was Tucker, and Kathleen, her cat, who was her husband's cat, and now I guess Kathleen and the cat have bonded. The cat's name was Tucker also. So it's like Carol has a Tucker, Kathleen has a Tucker, and I used to have a Tucker.
I see Angie and Val are saying that the dog's name is Toby.
Oh, Toby, I'm sorry, Toby. You're right, Toby. My dog was Tucker, but their dog is Toby. Both of their dogs are Toby. Yeah, my brain sometimes. I Tucker on my mind. But yeah, it was Toby. But anyway, so Kathleen and Carol's dog, both name is Toby. Thanks, Val. I know. Sometimes I have brain freezes, you know. I don't know. It's What's your husband doing, Angie?
Playing a game.
Does he play video games on the computer?
Yeah. It's too hot out. It's like 90 here or something.
Yeah, it's going to be hot here the next few days.
So he said, you know, he wasn't going to do anything outside. He's usually outside working, doing stuff in the yard, but he's not out there today.
Crystal doesn't make me nervous. It's Angie. Angie's never been on my show, but I mean, she's been on my chat, but she's never been live on my show before.
Oh, sweet.
Beautiful dog.
Yeah, that's
Angie
right.
does takes a lot of pictures with her dogs out in her garden. She does a lot of gardening and a lot of flowers in her yard.
Where do you live, Angie?
Pennsylvania.
Okay.
South Central. In Fayetteville, actually.
Oh, he's so cute.
Now you have two, right, Angie?
Yeah, this is Desiree. She's 3.
She's 3. Okay.
Yeah, she's a tricolor Sheltie.
She heard her name. She's looking around and she heard her name on the
Are you talking about me?
And did she have a brother or sister?
Yeah, I'll get Joey here.
Okay. So guys, we're not talking 100% reselling, but you know, reselling's alone. I tell you guys, reselling is lonely, especially if you're by yourself. So a lot of resellers have pets. They call them the fur babies. You know, if you guys aren't aware of it, they have the fur babies.
Oh yeah.
Crystal has fur babies and she has a child.
Yes. And like you were saying earlier, you know, I'm not disabled myself, but my son is.
Right.
So I understand a lot of what you're going through. And the whole reason that I sell from home is so that I don't have to go to work and, you know, pay for childcare or pay for a nurse or something to care for him while I'm gone. And then you just never know what type of care you're getting. So
Exactly.
I've always been nervous about that, especially when he was nonverbal. I was always afraid of leaving him with someone because he wouldn't have been able to communicate with me that something was wrong. So.
Yeah, I don't really know that much about were they long-haired Shelties? Is that what it is? Is there different kind of Shelties, Angie?
It's just different colors, and they actually come in kind of different sizes, although they don't really say like a big one or a small one. Some of them just end up bigger than others. He's a little Joey's a little bit bigger than Desi is, and he's called Sable. The coloring of him.
Color Sable. No, like Pat was saying, he looks like Lassie. I mean, they kind of look like collies to me.
Yeah. That's why I like him. It's like a small statured collie.
No, there's again. I used to know a lot about dogs. I really don't follow anymore. There's miniature collies too, right?
Well,
I'm not saying he's a miniature collie. I'm saying, but there are miniature collies, correct?
I don't know if there are or not.
I'm sure they have different, different breed characteristics than the Shelties do.
Yeah, I know that people used to call Shelties miniature collies, but I don't know if there are actual miniature collies or not.
Okay, I know. I think pretty sure back in the day. I mean, I used to have a bunch of dog books. I have an ASPCA calendar on my door, my basement door. So, hey, Lori. So what was your? I'm sorry, Pat had a question. I kind of got sidetracked here. Oh, how far are you away from Harrisburg? Pat wants to know. Angie.
1 hour.
1 hour.
South. Yeah.
South of Harrisburg.
How many miles, honey? 50 miles.
Oh, it's not too bad. Now you're kind of like in an area that's kind of like was residential. I mean, and I don't mean this as an insult because I have really not traveled a lot in Pennsylvania. I mean, I've been up to the Poconos where Pat is, and I've been, probably with like an 80-mile radius of Philadelphia. But people talk about Pennsyltucky. Is that true? Is there like Philadelphia and then Harrisburg and everything like around Philadelphia and Harrisburg is kind of like the city area, not the city area, but like suburbs in the city, and everything in between it is very country-ish. Is that true?
Probably, but that's okay with me.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, because I haven't been out your way, so I don't know. I mean, I've never traveled like from more than 70 or 80 miles away from Philadelphia, so I don't know what it's like to travel out that way.
It's cool. It's very cool here. We have like just a couple minutes from us is a state park, and it hooks up with the Appalachian Trail. And,
oh, really?
It's got state park's really neat. And like we're how many miles from Gettysburg? The battlefield.
Well, I've been to Gettysburg when I was much younger, and I've been of course to Lancaster.
Mm-hmm.
How far are you from Lancaster? Not real far, right?
About
a couple hours.
About an hour and 15 minutes. From
oh, that's not bad. Okay.
An hour and a half, something like that.
Not bad. Okay. Now, in Lancaster, if you guys aren't familiar, I mean, there's Amish people throughout different sections of the country, but there's Amish. Lancaster is known for the Amish people and also the outlet malls.
His sister lives in Lidditz, which is like right outside of Lancaster.
Right. That's considered Amish country, right? So that's kind of neat. So, guys, did you have any questions? Again, I just wanted to bring a few people on because I didn't want to just have me ramble on for 45 minutes talking about having medical issues or whatever. So I'm glad that Angie and Crystal were able to join me. Do you guys have any questions about? I mean, you can watch the video, and Steve came up with some kind of neat ideas about sourcing. He mentioned the one app that you can actually source from Amazon. You can source from the fulfilled by merchants because there's two types of sellers on Amazon. There's the merchant fulfilled, and then there's the ones where Amazon fulfilled by Amazon. So like typically if you do Prime or whatever, that's fulfilled by Amazon. And then you have merchant fulfilled, which works kind of like eBay. You have independent sellers, and they basically ship out their goods from their home or their business, wherever they're located, and they ship it to your location. What Steve was saying is you can source online from Amazon, and they do a lot with books, and his mother does a lot with books. He told me his mother is 65 years old, and she has months where she makes like $1,000 to $2,000 a month gross profit just on books. Now, great, I don't know what the margin is on books, and I'm sure it varies. I mean, I know Jamie Pace, who's active in Casey's group a lot. He has like thousands and thousands of listings. I don't know how he does it. He works a full-time job, family business. They have kind of oil maintenance business where they maintain oil rigs and things. But he has like thousands of listings. And he does a lot with books, and he does a lot with ties. So, but he does, I think, mostly merchant fulfilled. But apparently you can run some kind of application on your computer, and it'll I guess constantly ping Amazon for prices of various books, and then it'll send you, I guess, somehow send you back some kind of notification that this book is valuable and you can make money by purchasing it and having it shipped to you, and then shipping it into Amazon FBA. Or what Stephen mentioned in the video, you can do you can use prep centers. So prep centers, basically what they do is it's basically they prepare everything for you. You could have things shipped from a wholesaler. You could have, they could handle liquidation for you. Some actually handle liquidation. They all don't, but some handle liquidation. They'll break it down and they'll package it and they'll ship it into Amazon for you. So Steve was saying this one particular company he's researching, they charge you $1.50 per unit. So in other words, you could buy a book from a merchant fulfilled vendor on Amazon, and then have that shipped directly to the prep center, and then they'll take the delivery and they'll label it with your code or whatever, how they package it. I don't know how they do it with books, because I guess they just put a sticker on like they would do on anything else, like a UPC sticker. They put it probably over the regular UPC sticker. I've never done books, so I don't know how they do it with Amazon. But then they'll ship it in, and that the states he's looking into are tax free. So you also avoid sales tax. So, you don't have to pay sales tax on your purchase price if you're having it shipped into the prep center. So in other words, if I was living in Delaware, which is sales tax free, technically I shouldn't have to pay sales tax on purchases that I make on Amazon or eBay, whatever. So that is an option for $1.50. That's not bad. Oh, David, our friend from the UK is with us. David, I haven't seen you forever, buddy.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I haven't seen him for a long time.
Wow. It's good to see you, David. You got to start doing, I guess you didn't do that many car boot videos this year either. I guess he's been working a lot. I thought it was a great tip, Ricardo. I mean, especially for people that are homebound. And I mean, I had mentioned Derek, and Derek can't drive. At least he has support. His sons drive. He has friends that drive. I know he was talking about doing some kind of toy show. So his friends, I guess, are going to come, or his son's going to come, and they're going to help him transport the stuff and help him set up. But yeah, I'm basically by myself. So I mean, I have my living room. I got to break it down. I have a bunch of boxes. So whenever I get boxes from Amazon or eBay, I save the boxes and I break them down. So I was telling you guys, I think I mentioned on the video, or I mentioned to somebody I was talking to. I want to get one of those big washing machine boxes, and just cut it to size, and then break down all my boxes and then stick them in that box, and then stick that in my garage. So get rid of all the clutter. But I mean, you got to do what you got to do, because I can't dumpster dive. I mean, people talk about doing storage auctions and dumpster diving. I mean, I could go up to the side of a dumpster if it has a side door and reach in and pull stuff out with gloves, but I can't physically get into a dumpster. I mean, I don't see Jackie and Sarah in the chat, but the Treasure Hustlers, they actually physically hop into the dumpsters.
Oh, that's illegal here. You can't do that anyway.
Well, you said you can't do that there, yeah. And no. The thing is, most of my dumpsters would have anything decent, or in like the more commercial areas, and I'm sure they probably have. I mean, I haven't researched it because I can't do it. But they probably have.
You can do it if you have the permission from the company or whoever puts their trash in that dumpster. Then you can do it. Or if it's on the street, you can take it. If it's in the actual dumpster or in a trash can, you cannot take it out. That's illegal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna. You're not gonna go behind Ulta, and Ulta's not gonna say, "Okay, guys, you can get this free free goods from our dumpster and sell them online." Used makeup and whatnot. They're not gonna allow you to do it. But I mean, yeah. I could see saying some people actually have stores save boxes for them too, or bubble wrap. That's another.
Yeah, I've gone into a few stores and have asked them for boxes, and they just give them to you.
Oh, Steve's in the chat. Thank you for joining us, Steve.
Adam, Cindy Y was asking how reselling affects your disability check.
Again, consult your accountant. I'm saying things off the top of my mind. I don't make a lot of money reselling. What I explain to people is I really enjoy doing YouTube, and I do reselling to keep me busy, keep me active, and also make a little bit of extra money. And again, guys, whatever you make reselling, profit, you have to claim that on your taxes. Now, see, with me, I mean, I have a lot of expenses. I mean, I went to, I mean, not that I can deduct my whole trip to Las Vegas, but let's just say I deduct half of it. And I was telling you guys, it cost me upwards of $2,000 for that trip. So, I mean, if I claim $1,000, half of it or 2/3 of it, that's the tax deduction. I believe it's $12,000.
Why would you not claim your whole trip?
Well, again, I'm leery because when I used to be in outside sales, they were always saying be careful with your business expenses and whatnot. Again, I'm probably going to go to an accountant because I didn't use an accountant last year.
Yeah.
And I've had issues this is the first year I'm actually on collected disability for a full year. Like I was telling
Raiken Profit's in your chat.
I know I said hello to Steve and we got sidetracked, but yeah, this is the first year I'm actually been on disability for a full tax year. And the first year that I'm actually on Medicare. So again, I'm probably going to go to an accountant this year that I'm filing my taxes. I used to always try to do it myself because you know how men can be stubborn. I had a minor in accounting when I went to college, but that was many moons ago. And I always wrote my taxes. And the state's even more difficult than the federal. And whenever you get a letter from the IRS, believe me, you get panic. So it's like, oh. But I did get a letter from the hospital because what happened was when I wasn't making any money, I was telling Steve on the interview, for 8 months I'd have any money coming in. So that's why I started doing eBay, because I wanted something to keep me busy and generate a little bit of money because I had like nothing coming in. So and it's true, like you got to feed the beast. It's like anything else with eBay. When you list, you sell. When are we going back to Hell's Kitchen, Steve? Whenever you like to go, my friend.
Maybe I can join you guys next time. That would be amazing.
Crystal up in the top right corner, Steve. She's from Las Vegas. She's living in Las Vegas. Yeah, I love Hell's Kitchen. It was funny because the chef at the time, Michelle, who had won, I think, like 3 or 4 years ago. I have a picture of her. She was not there this past year. She was on vacation. I actually asked because I was going to try to get pictures for Steve, get pictures with Michelle or whatever, and that was kind of neat. So the year prior, and again, I would look it up on my phone, but I don't want to waste your guys' time looking up for the picture. But I'll probably just post it on my Facebook group.
I think I've seen it. I've seen that picture. Yeah,
it was a neat picture. I mean, she's wearing her, her head chef's gear, the white and the black, and the Hell's Kitchen with the little logo on it. Yeah, it was kind of neat. Yeah, what happened was that year I was an idiot. You live and learn. I tell you guys, and I talked when I was on Best Channel, I talked about how to save money when in Las Vegas. I talked about how, other people have more money than I, and I'm like, I'm on a fixed income, and I try to, save money. And, I was taking the bus, and then I was telling people, you get on the bus, and it's the typical people that are on a bus. It's people that are locals, people that are working, in the hotels, the motels, the businesses. And I said a lot of people from foreign countries because they're used to using public transportation. Yeah,
and my friend, she lives here just a few doors down from me, but she takes the bus every day because she's afraid to park her car downtown all day and just leave it there while she's working.
Sure.
So she'll drive to one of the casinos that's closer to our home here, and then she'll park it there where she knows the security guard who watches her car all day.
Okay, nice.
And then she takes the bus into downtown, and she works at the Golden Nugget. So
okay.
Yeah, there's local
like one of the locals casinos, and then she takes the bus from there.
Yeah, and then she buses to Golden Nugget.
Oh, that's smart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, and then the thing is, I'm going to buy, like I was telling Beth, I'm probably going to buy the 3-day pass. You have the Deuce and you have the SDX, and I never knew why it was called the SDX. Well, it's Strip Downtown Express. The X is the Express, and Strip, S is Strip, D is Downtown. So it runs up and down the Strip, but it takes stops like every third or fourth stop as opposed to every single stop. And there's all that construction that's going on in Las Vegas now. I mean, they're building a new stadium for the Raiders, and they're building casinos, parking, and they're adding to the convention centers. And
that's a negative thing about Las Vegas is it doesn't matter what time of year or day or whatever. There's construction all over the entire city at all times. I mean, it's.
But I was thinking, and then the bus got detoured. I mean, even the express got detoured.
Yeah.
Like, why is it taking so long? And they're coming off the strip. Because I remember we went by the you guys used to watch. Some of you guys used to probably watch Pawn Stars. We're talking about reselling. So the gold and silver pawn. So the buses go right by Pawn Stars. Now it doesn't. It kind of loops behind the back of Pawn Stars, then comes back on. I don't know what that street is at the end of the strip. I call it the Strip. It's Las Vegas Boulevard. Everybody pretty much calls it the Strip. I don't know what locals call it. Probably call it Las Vegas Boulevard, right?
No, we call it the Strip.
You call it the Strip too? Yeah. And you guys know all the back roads, all the bypass roads. That's
that's true. But even those roads will have construction on them, and everybody's trying to get around. And a lot of the back roads are used by services. So like, people making deliveries, UPS, pest control, all that type of stuff uses those back roads. So it's just as busy as.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it is.
David left a comment in the chat. He said, I was busy chatting. And again, I apologize, guys. If you're new to my channel, I tell people I had ADD before there was ADD. Back when I used to always be the last person in fourth grade, I used to always have to stay after class because I was above average intelligence. I'm not saying I was a genius or anything, but I was above average intelligence. And I never finished my work. I never finished my schoolwork. I always had to stay after school. So when I'm concentrating on the chat, not the chat, on the show, and I'm not really concentrating on the chat. So and the thing is with moderators on StreamYard, you can see the people's names, but you don't really see that they're moderators. So like if a moderator has a little blue wrench next to them and they make a comment, it kind of stands out, and then they can highlight your name as well. When you put the @ and like Adam's exploits, it highlights your name. Well, if you're in StreamYard, it's not highlighted. So you don't even see it. So David said something, he left a comment at 20 something. Dave, I'm going to try to find your comment. I'm going to post it across. I'm going to post this for across Angie's name there. So it's there's a question from Lori there, Angie. If you want to read that, can you read that?
Yes. Yeah, I had asked her if she had a Sheltie.
Okay.
What was his name, and if it was a tricolor or a sable, and she thought he was a sable.
Okay.
I had another one that passed away about 3 years ago, so I miss that one a lot too, Teddy. But thank you, Adam, for putting that up there.
No problem. So let me show David's comment. David says, "Yeah, I've been working, Adam. I just bought a pallet of toys today. Nice. What's it? 171 pounds, I guess that is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Including pallet price and VAT, value-added tax. 65 toys, and they sell. It's in pounds. I'm having trouble reading that. Was it 7 to 8 pounds
7
new?
to 8 pounds new.
These are clearance items. Okay, cool, David. You're getting in the toy business. I know Steve does toys. In fact, Steve has. If you guys haven't seen his latest videos, well, there's a lot of videos that Steve produces, but he actually has a warehouse now, and he has employees that are working at the warehouse. So I know he got involved with some liquidation, some house goods. So that was something I actually looked into. I talked to Steve a little bit about Amazon, and when I first got involved in reselling, I was going to do Amazon. I kind of got intimidated by it, and I was looking to get into liquidation. And I figured, well, then I had a lot of my medical issues were compounded. It's like I can't physically, break down pallets, and especially at this location, because I used to follow a lot of the resellers that did liquidation. Back in the day, Steve and Steph used to do mostly liquidation. Now they're doing a lot of dumpster diving, and they're still doing some liquidation. But I used to follow, Chris, Liquidation Ohio, and he used to do a lot of liquidation. Now he's doing liquidation, wholesale, et cetera, et cetera. So I was interested in doing liquidation. The issue is where I live in a row house. I'm on the end. I'm at the very end of the drive, and there's no access from my side of the townhouse. You have to come around the back, and a truck can't even make it. I mean, we have trash trucks come back here, and they keep crashing into the walls and knocking down walls. And so I couldn't, if they delivered something, they would have to drop it out in front of my house. And I physically, again, with my disabilities, I can't physically take the stuff and walk it along the side of the house. I am an N unit, which is nice, but I couldn't walk it along the side of the house, carry it and drop it in the back and shit. I couldn't do that. I'd have to hire people. And something to consider when you're in liquidation. Now, some people have connections with other businesses, and they get a commercial delivery. They get a delivery to like a warehouse district, let's say. Because when you have it delivered in a residential area, there's an additional fee.
Yes,
and then if you need a lift gate to drop it down, there's additional fee.
That's an additional fee. Mm-hmm.
Right. So, I mean, I learned all that because, like I said, I was going to get involved in liquidation. I may still get involved when I move down to Delaware, because if you guys follow my channel, I told you I want to get a rancher. It's difficult to find basements, though, in Delaware. It seems if you have a basement, you don't have a garage. If you have a garage, you don't have a basement. So, ideally, I would like to have a garage and a basement. So, my plans were to get, like I said, I'm going to get a used SUV just for my everyday vehicle. and then I want to get some kind of truck, get a used truck, so I could go and do pickup at local liquidation sites. Like maybe do like cosmetics or something smaller that not a lot of heavy lifting involved, as opposed to these big huge pallet drops. And I can go physically pick it up. There's vendors, liquidation vendors in Philadelphia area. So I mean, basically, if I'm in Delaware, I'm just basically on the other side of the bridge from New Jersey, and it's just it's like an hour's ride north into Philadelphia where they have these liquidations. But,
I don't think I could handle that much merchandise right now.
Right. Well, that's an issue too, because I know Derek said that he did a lot of bins shopping. The Goodwill guys. If you don't know what the bins are, and we have some beginners in my chat. Basically, it's Goodwill outlets. They sell you by the pound. So Derek was saying it's the first time he's been to the bins, or first time, I guess, with friends. He went to the bins with Anthony, and he bought a lot of product at the bins. So he was so excited about it. So I physically can't do the bins. I've been probably 5 or 6 times, and I walk around, and it's like, okay, and now I'm getting sore and stiff, and I don't really see anything. And then I'll go and see. I want to put something on my cart, and somebody took my cart. And
yeah, that's kind of been the issue with me lately too, is because I usually go to the bins. That's where I get most of my stuff.
Right, you were saying that.
Yeah, and the bins is great for me, but I take my son everywhere with me because I don't have childcare, so he goes everywhere with me. And lately, it seems like the bins have become more and more of an issue for him because he can't stand up that long and he can't walk around that long. So, he'll find a place like in the corner of the bins or something, in a couch, and just kind of curl up in there. But then I feel bad, and
Sure.
I'm shopping for an hour and he's waiting for me on the couch. So it's becoming harder to go to the bins lately.
Right.
So I'm looking for other options, other things to do.
Sure. Well, you said you have the Goodwill bins, and you also have Savers bins, right?
Yeah. So we have 2 Goodwill bins. And Las Vegas is small. This is a little tiny town if you think about it. I mean, it takes you 30 minutes to get from one side to the other. Well, we call it the mountain. So from one mountain to the other mountain, it's like 30 minutes. And then it's just a big circle all the way around, and you take the freeway literally.
To me, it seems huge to me, but you're a local, so I guess it's different for you. Well, you're driving too, so. Yeah,
and then I'm also from like Los Angeles, so this city is small compared to where I'm from. But
you're like 6 lanes. I remember the first time I drove in LA area, and I was like 22 or 23. And it was like, you get on one lane, it's like you have to get off, and there's no sign. Back in the day, they didn't have the smartphones with the maps. They weren't saying, get off and a half a mile, change 3 lanes. They didn't have that. So I'd be like in the middle lane. I got to cut across 3 lanes to get off, and I missed my exit. Like, you got to drive how many miles to get off the next exit? It's like, oh God, I don't know how people do it.
And I hate driving in LA. And then the lanes are so tiny. Like you're so close to the other cars, or
like you have like a tractor trailer or something in the lane,
or if you have a big car, a big SUV or something, you're hugging the lines. I mean, it's tiny.
And the first time I went to Los Angeles, I had a friend who we went to high school with. I don't know why he moved out to California. For some reason, he moved out to California from New Jersey, and he became a sheriff's officer. So he was like 19 or maybe, I don't know, 20. So my friend was a year older than me. So my friend was 21 or 22, and I think I was 20. So back then you had to be 21 to rent a car. So we flew out there and we were going to rent a car. And then I found out that I couldn't rent a car because I wasn't 21. So, and I don't know why my genius friend didn't have his driver's license with him, of all things. That was before September, today being September 11th, that was before the increased security. But this is probably, oh my word, this is like 35, 36 years ago. Is that right? Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. So maybe more. So he didn't have his driver's license. And his mother, I guess, didn't know about, back in the day. And then you had express mail, which was like in his infancy. So my mother had to go and get the overnight express mail and ship that to like a post office in Los Angeles. So we had to take public transportation to get to the post office to get the driver's license. so we rented the car, and I think we ended up renting the car. I don't know why we rented the car at the airport. For some reason, rented the car at the airport. So we start pulling out of the airport, and you know how all the lanes are at LAX?
Yes.
The car is stalling out as we're trying to pull out of the airport. It stalled out like 5 times. Finally, we have to loop all the way around and go back to like the lot where they have the lot, where you get the rental cars, and we had to get another rental car. But here we got all these cars like zipping around us, and we keep stalling out. It's like, we're like 22, 21-year-old kids. But if that happened to me now, I would have lost it. But I mean, back then, you're young, so you deal with it.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I probably would have lost it then too.
Yeah, and I
Like,
had
I give up. I'm going home.
but I had never been in that kind of traffic before. So.
Oh yeah, LA traffic is the worst. It's pretty bad.
So Donatella, you had to clean out a unit, and Kimmy said she cleaned out a unit today. I guess it was. Well, you keep in touch with Kimmy, Crystal. Was that her first storage unit that she had purchased?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't think it is.
Okay.
But I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, because I know I think she's going to do a video, and because she's always in the chat whenever. I appreciate you guys, you ladies, I should say, joining me. Kimmy is always there when I need a backup guest. And I really, not that you guys are backup guests, but I appreciate you joining me. You've always been very good to me. But Kimmy said she had to clean out. I guess I follow these like what the hails and things, and talking about the storage auctions and how you have a certain time frame you have to clean out the unit.
Right.
That if you want to get your deposit back, and it's usually typically $100 deposit. In fact, Ricardo that's in the chat, he was giving some tips about buying storage units, and he was talking about the deposit and how you have to clean it out. And I know what we were saying, Donatella. I said you. I mentioned you, and I mentioned Kimmy. I said you were just said you were I'm sorry that you're my friend. I'm sorry. I should have mentioned. I told you I get sidetracked and I lose track of the conversations. But yeah, so Kimmy was cleaning out her unit, and I guess there's a certain time frame you have to get it cleared out, or you have to pay, I guess, extra for the to rent the unit per se for a certain period of time.
Yeah, like a storage fee.
Storage fee to rent, yeah. If you want to keep it more than I think Donatella would know better than I, but I think it's like typically like 48 or it's 48 hours or 72 hours you have to clean out the unit.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then after that you have to pay a fee to rent, I guess, to clean it out, and then I guess they inspect it to make sure it's swept out and everything. But yeah, Kimmy was doing hers today, so she did make it back to the chat, but I guess she had a lot of work to do around the house. So what were you saying, David? Storage? Don't say that, David. That's not nice. I was going to repeat it. It's going to get me in trouble, David. Jeez, David. You don't come around all this time and you say something like that in my chat. I'm just joking, but no, that's we don't say that in the United States. We don't call women that name. It's not nasty name if you don't say it in the chat, guys. But we don't call women.
Yeah. Oh, he says he's joking.
He's joking, yeah, but we gotta be careful. I'm trying to build my channel. I don't want women to leave unsubscribe from me, David. Jeez.
No, but you were asking me about the bins here. So we have two of them, two Goodwill bins, one kind of on the south side and the one on the north side. And then we also have one that's right in the middle that is a Savers bins. But at the Savers bins, they only sell clothing. So the other ones, is Goodwill's a bunch of everything, but Savers is only clothing by the pound.
Savers is only clothing? Okay.
Yeah.
So the hard goods is per piece. They don't have by weight.
No. It's just the regular thrift store.
Now, have you done any of the books? Like I had Steven mentioned about, did you get involved at all with scanning the books?
No, I don't scan books. Like the other day I had gone to Salvation Army and they were getting rid of every book in the store. It was 10 cents.
Oh, okay.
So I bought a ton of books. But I wasn't like scanning them all. I was just taking whichever one.
Oh yeah,
I
for 10 cents a unit, you figure they're kind of like
it doesn't matter.
College
Yeah.
books or textbooks. You just grab them for 10 cents, and you can always
Right.
donate them.
Yeah, and then I always pick up a lot of the children's books because even if they're not worth anything, then I can send them to the grandkids or my son or whatever. So, children's books are always a win for me.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
have
I know that
grandkids?
like I said, and I'll have to put that in my description. I'm gonna put well, I think I'm gonna put it on my my Facebook group. Guys, if you haven't joined my Facebook group, it's called Reselling Rhythms. I have a lot of experienced sellers in there. I'm trying to grow that as well. And again, it's a drama-free zone, and you can reach out and questions if you have questions about a particular item or you have questions about reselling. If I can answer it, I will. If I can't answer it, I have a lot of experienced sellers in the group that can answer it. Like, I don't do Etsy. Angie does Etsy. Crystal does Poshmark. I don't do Poshmark. So, I mean, I have Etsy sellers. I have Poshmark sellers. I have Amazon sellers. Tiffany, Eat Sleep Amazon is in the group, and she's an Amazon seller. So if you have questions that I don't know the answer, I mean, I'll try to answer. And when I'm both of Casey's groups, Rockstar Flippers groups, his premium group and his regular group. And if I see somebody asking a legitimate question, I'll tag Casey or tag somebody I know that knows that particular, has that specialty. Like Jamie Pace, I was telling you earlier, knows all about ties. So if somebody has a question about ties, I'll tag my friend Jamie Pace. I'll tag him in Casey's groups, and he'll get back to the people typically in a timely fashion and try to help them. So that's what I have in my group. So if you guys, like I said, if you're new to my channel, join the Facebook group. And then again, I have some experienced sellers. I'm trying to grow that group. So if you have questions about reselling, if I don't have the answer, I'll try to reach out to sellers that I know, or members of the group. We'll post it in the group, and we'll try to get answers for you that way. So anyway, was there any other questions? I know we're kind of looks like we're bogging down a little bit with as far as the number of people. I'm enjoying Angie joining us and Crystal joining us, but typically I do a little bit of YouTube research as well, and they say try to keep your show around an hour or a little bit more than an hour now. And I see our viewers are dropping off a little bit, but I wanted to do at least an hour today because I appreciate Steve popping in the chat, and David, I haven't seen you forever and ever, my friend. I'm glad you stopped in the chat. And people like Beth are in the chat, and Beth doesn't always have a chance to drop into our chat, so I appreciate that. And I did want to do the show and keep it about an hour or so for the people that have popped over to have subscribed from Steve Raiken Profit's channel. And again, Steve, thank you for having me on the channel, and I appreciate it. And one of these days, hopefully, I'll have you on my show. I can interview you, and that would be tremendous. I know Casey's been on several times, and Crystal has been on my channel, and one of these days, I'd like to have you on as well, Steve, if you're still in the chat. So were there any questions? We can close this down, guys. And again, remember, today is September 11th. Like I said, keep our people, the EMT, the police, the firefighters, and our service people in your thoughts and prayers. It's a special day especially for us American citizens. We have freedom because of those people. So were there any questions? I don't see any questions. I know the mods, were there any questions I might have missed? What did you say, Angie? I don't think Adam heard me. What did you say, Angie?
I just said that Crystal looks so young to have grandkids.
It's actually my husband's daughter. So my husband is about 10 years older than me. But I'm almost 40, so I guess I could have grandkids.
No.
You didn't know this, Angie. First of all, let me close it. I'm going to put you on the spot, Crystal.
Okay.
You know what I'm going to ask you to do before we're going to.
Oh God.
We're going to.
Yeah,
close
probably.
this out.
I think so.
Okay, so I like to close again. So we mentioned about September 11th. Again, I'm going to mention just real quickly, guys. If you're coming over from Steve Raiken Profit's channel, again, I'll have the link to the Facebook group in the description. I have the link. If you guys from my channel haven't seen the video yet that I did with Steve, where Steve interviewed me at the eBay Open, that link is as well within the description. And again, guys, typically I'm on at 3 p.m. Eastern time every Wednesday. I'm going to try to eventually start doing some more videos and learn how to edit. But I've had my channel for a little over a year now, and trying to grow it. So I mean, they had the thing where you had to have 1,000 subscribers. So I met that plateau, so I can do lives. I have all kind of equipment I purchased and help me as far as doing videos outside and whatnot. And I got to put a special mic for my phone, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for joining us, and I would like my special friend Crystal if she could close us out with a little tune of her choice. Let me highlight my friend Crystal here. There she is.
Adam.
You know, I know
don't put
when
me
you
on the
sing,
spot like
Kimmy,
that.
sing to our fans.
Do what now?
Would you like to sing something and whatever of you? Just a line or two of you. You know what I like, but you could whatever
Now
you
I have to. But can you make me small?
make you smaller. Okay, we can do that.
Yeah, make me smaller. I don't want to be on the spot.
Like that. Oh, you don't want to see my big. Is that better?
Yeah,
All right.
that's
we'll
better.
That. All right.
Okay, what do you want to hear, Adam?
Well, you know I like Fan of the Opera. What do you like to hear? I mean, what else do you sing, Crystal? I mean, I've only had you sing Fan of the Opera when you've been on my show before. What else do you know off the top of your head? Crystal used to be in pageants. So that was her talent, was singing. So she's not only intelligent and a great mother and a great wife, she's also very talented and a great reseller. She's a beautiful face.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Let me see. What can I sing for you? Phantom of the Opera, huh? I'm on the spot and I'm trying to think of lyrics.
Oh, you can sing whatever you want. Like I said, it doesn't have to be Phantom, because I know when I ask Kimmy all the time, she says, "Oh, Adam, you put me in a spot. I can't remember now." So whatever pops in your mind. Just don't sing like.
Yeah, you know, it's like when you're just like wandering around and doing housework and things like that. It's like all the songs come to your head, but then as soon as someone says "sing for me," you're like,
well, I know
I forgot all the words.
Some Phantom of the Fan of the Opera. You've sung that the opera singer's portion. What was her name in the show? What was her name?
Christine.
Christine. You would sing Christine's part of the Fan of the Opera song.
Yeah.
Think of me, something. What is it?
Yeah, think of me.
Yes. Would you like to do that? Did that come to mind?
Yeah, no? I sing that one for you a lot, though.
I know. I was saying it. Whatever you prefer.
Okay. All right. Oh, my camera just went funky.
I haven't heard "Sing for Me."
You see that? It's all blurry. Am I blurry?
That's better. Well, a little bit. All right.
What happened?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
The Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
There you go. There you go.
Let's see. You were once my one companion. You were all that mattered. You were once a friend and father. Then my world was shattered. Wishing you were somehow here again. Wishing you were somehow near. Sometimes it seems if I just dream, somehow you would be here. Okay, that's enough.
That was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much, Chris.
Wasn't
that beautiful, Angie? Isn't she very talented?
Yes.
She's going to blush, but she's very talented and a great lady, and I consider her a good friend. I consider you my friend as well.
You make me nervous.
But I figured we'll have Crystal sing. We're on an upbeat note. So, guys, again, like typically, I told you guys before, I'm typically live on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. I'd like to thank everyone that joined me and people that have joined me from Steve Raiken Profit's channel. If you're watching the replay, I'd appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And I shall be back next Wednesday. Thanks again, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Adam, for having me.